welcome to another episode of On the Capo Stand podcast. I am your host David, and alongside is our good friend Ahmed. How you doing, Ahmed?
Happy Monday, my friend. I'm doing well.
Thank you, sir. Our friend John is running a little late, so please excuse his absence. Well, first of all, I would like to thank everybody that is going to be watching us live, everybody that is going to be watching this later on, and everybody that's going to be listening to us on audio. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. I want to remind everybody that we're on Instagram. We're live on X. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. We're on TikTok, on Threads, on Blue Sky, and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as on the Capistan podcast and on YouTube at David's Channel 76. Please give us a thumbs up, a subscription that helps us out, reaching out to the Orlando City audience and MLS fans in general. And as you guys know, here we touch the topics that are not popular, that are not, happy-go-lucky. One thing that should never be put into doubt is the fact that we love our club, and we are making it our official battle cry. We love badge and colors above all else, 24/7. That's who we are. That's where we hope that our fan base. That's what we hope that our fan base becomes. Some great personal news. I will be returning to work next Monday, so I'm enjoying my last week doing absolutely nothing. I know Ahmed has been busy with the academy. So, what stories from the dark side of football do you have, my friend?
No stories, man. But my son scored today during one of their last games of the season. He was
Bravo.
super excited, man. Scored a goal. It's crazy to see it, but it's also nice to see a goal because we haven't seen one in a while.
No, that's for sure. Here in Orlando,
I
I
was like,
tell
at
you
least
what,
somebody scoring a goal for us.
I was telling Ahmed before we started recording that usually when Orlando City things in Orlando City are not that great, I find refuge in other sports in other teams, and both of my uh, teams overseas, Maccabi Haifa in Israel and Stevenage in England, are going through some turmoil. Those seasons obviously are coming to an end. I don't think we're gonna end up lifting any silverware. There's no promotions. There's nothing. So it's disappointing because both teams were red hot at the beginning of the season, and also the Puerto Rico Basketball League just started. My hometown has basically the team that I can only describe as the Boston Celtics, LA Lakers, and the 1990s Chicago Bulls roll into one. And the record right now is 1 win, 2 losses. So sports have been treating me as if I owe them child support. So I don't know. It's what they say. Like we always say, if you want instant gratification, this is not the place to find it.
Mhm.
Uh, Orlando City had a bye week, and let's go ahead and revisit the what's the situation there, because obviously we did not play right now. The Eastern Conference, the standing is as follows. Uh, Number one with 14 points, New York Red Bulls. Number two, Philadelphia with 12. Number three, Miami with 12. Number four, Columbus with 12. Cincinnati with 12 in fifth place. Atlanta with 10 in sixth place. Seventh place, Toronto with 10. DC, our foe this coming up weekend, with 10 in the eighth position. Charlotte with eighth in ninth. Chicago with eighth in 10th. Montreal was seventh in the 11th position. Nashville was seventh in the 12th. NYC with 5 points in the 13th position. Orlando with 5 points in the 14th position. And New England with 4 points in the 15th position. West, Vancouver, LA, RSL, Minnesota, LAFC, Houston, SKC, Austin, Colorado, Portland, Seattle. I'm sorry,
St. Louis.
St. Louis, Seattle, Dallas, and San Jose. So that's That's what's going on there. There's gonna be some action in Open Cup and in the Champions coming up this week. To note, basically, I will have to say in this coming up week, we have Tigres and Columbus at Monterrey. As we all know, we're all Columbus on that one.
Oh yeah.
Uh, that same night on the 9th at 10:30, America versus New England. Interesting. Then on Wednesday, we have Pachuca against Herediano. And that's on the 10th, this Wednesday, April 10th. And Monterrey Rayados against Miami in Monterrey. So it's going to be interesting that
It's
back to
very
back CCC games in Monterrey. And as you guys all know, I am Rayado from birth. So I hope that they put these guys to bed pretty soon. So anything to add, Ahmed, about what's
You know,
the
watching those games, man. I was watching the Tigres one, and I saw the Pachuca game.
hmm
Amazing soccer, amazing. Like
No, for sure.
that is what we're missing here for some reason, and not we're just watching stuff like that makes me say we come back, we go to our stadium, and we sit there, and I'm like, what is going on? That's what I have to say.
No, absolutely. And I have to add one thing about the CCC, the CONCACAF Champions Cup. I think there's a lot of gas that has been sold to us in the idea that we're equals to Liga MX. It's not true, man. You see it on the quality of the players they have. You
Hmm.
see on the salaries they can pay, and you see it on the size of their squad that they are built for several different competitions at the same time. And personally, I think that here in MLS, we just need to take off the training wheels. The you know we're It's not 1996 with ownership that their net value was 2, 3, $4 million. We're talking about billionaires owning these clubs, and you know for years I thought that the guys that are like, oh, we need pro relegation and we need these rules to be taken away. I thought they were tinfoil crazies. But I have started to, as I have been following clubs in leagues where promotion relegation is a fact of life, I'm starting to see that the MLS system, while it worked beautifully to preserve the league, preserve the teams, and create the buzz around the league, I think it's time for it to go away, man. I don't know what you think, because I see that we will never be anything good as long as we go into these international tournaments with one hand tied behind our backs.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I don't, I have this conversation all the time when I'm sitting there at these soccer practices, and promotion relegation for us. I feel like the MLS is when my son learned to ride his bike, I took the pedals off because it makes it easier. I feel like that's what we're doing and trying to go uphill with a bike with no pedals because we're just not getting anywhere because we did it backwards, David.
hmm
We did it backwards. We built the top and now we're trying to build the foundation. You can't do that. You can't do that because the foundation is what feeds it all,
Absolutely.
right? We're supposed to use these existing clubs that we have, the USL and the UPSL and all of these areas are supposed to feed into like the MLS, let's say, right? Or it's
hmm
supposed to be local clubs. Why does it work everywhere else? Because you have local teams that have local support, and as those players move up, they have people who support them. Here, it's backwards. We bring everybody in from everywhere to have a team, and then we're like, why is nobody supporting them? Because they don't know half the people, So it has to become about all the glitz and glam and and what's cool and what's not. People outside of the U.S. they don't go there because of the glitz and glam and who they sign. They go because their kids that they watch growing up are playing on a team, and now they're playing on a second team or they're playing in the championship. that's how you build that following. We're doing it, you know. It's an uphill battle. I don't know that we'll see that anytime soon, at least in our lifetime.
No, for
I don't know.
sure, for sure. Um, and you're not gonna get anywhere skipping out on tournaments. And based on that, I mean, if you don't mind pointing out uh,
Oh,
the
I know what
statement
you.
posted out by the Iron Lion firm, and
Yep.
I will say this before we go deep into the statement by one of the official supporter groups of the club. Um, I have history with the ILF. It's not a good one, and I had my battles and my disagreements with the leadership of the organization. I was a member of the ILF. I was kicked out. You guys, as you guys know, was kicked out unilaterally by the president of the organization. Right decision, because quite honestly, um, I don't think it was a good match to begin with, and I'm glad that he acknowledged that. Um, the fact of the matter is that in all the years that we've been supporting the club, they have never questioned my loyalty to the club, and I have never questioned their loyalty. We're all supporters. We all love the club. We want the best for the club, and on that we can break bread and lift our drinks to toast to the health of everybody that carries our badge and colors. And I mean, if you don't mind reading the statement, and we will say something real quick after that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was posted by the ILF on their social media channels. It says, as previously stated, Leagues Cup is confirmation that our passion, fandom, love of the sport, and respect for the history of soccer in this country doesn't matter to the MLS. ILF will not support Leagues Cup, and we encourage all of our members to do the same. If you are a season ticket member, please reach out to your ticket representative and opt out of Leagues Cup tickets before your account is billed. We hope to see Orlando City return to the competition we won in 2022 in the following season.
Absolutely.
To the
And like I
point.
said, yeah, to the point. And like I said, I appreciate that they put this to vote among their membership, and the membership decided that this was the right way to do it. Um, like we already made a statement about this, so we're not gonna harp all for our ages on it. John, myself, and Ahmed have eloquently, I will say, said the reasons why we feel that skipping on Open Cup was detrimental to the sport in the United States, to the federation, to the future of American football as a whole. And we stand by those comments. On social media, I have tried to defend our position. I know for a lot of people it seems as betrayal to the players, betrayal to the club. I'm here to tell you that the Oscar Pareja, his staff, and the players have been notified of the decision of segments of the fan base not to show up. They support us 1,000% because they're people who come from football culture and they don't understand the damaging results of pulling out from the Open Cup. If you're new to the sport or you feel that as long as the team is playing, you have to go support them, we encourage you to do that. We don't want to create divisions, or we don't want to create turmoil or fights. Several people have already tried to say, well, I've been here since 2011. I have myself. I'm a real fan. You're not. I really ignore those type of comments because it's just an opinion that you have about me. It's not the correct one. I know who was here in 2011. Many of the people throwing those insults or that body checks about who's a better fan than the other were not here. I can tell you that anybody that has been support of Orlando City in the USL days knows who were the original ones because we all knew each other. It was a very tribal, very cultish and cliquish back then. So with that said, we wish Orlando City the best in Leagues Cup. Hope they have a great results, but they're gonna have to do without us. And
Mhm.
so to the ILF, thank you very much for joining this decision. I know it's not a popular one, but I'd rather be in the right side of history when it boils down to that. I mean, anything else to add?
You know what? The only thing I did want to add, and I could not find it uh, on social media. I think it was John who had shared it. There was a
Tom
poll,
Bogert.
a vote of some type that was run amongst the managers of all the MLS teams. And I basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically the idea was the majority of the MLS team managers did not want to do that, to avoid to leave the US Open Cup. So it just goes to show, kind of like to our point, you know, it's if you didn't know, that should make you think. If you didn't know where it stood, the fact that you have the majority of these managers voting against leaving a tournament like that should make you think, well, if they're all voting against doing it, why are we still doing it?
For sure. And to paraphrase on Tom Bogert's tweet, he quoted one of the managers saying, "The purpose of playing the season is to get as many trophies as possible, and that's what we're here for." So taking a tournament away, it's foolish. So with that said, I gotta tell you right now, for those that have been following the Open Cup, and I'm having a blast. I've been following this club, El Farolito. It's an NPSL team named after a taco uh, franchise of restaurants, and in San Francisco, and they just defeated the Central Valley Fuego. Talking about name, woof, it of the USL League One, and they're moving on, and now they're gonna be playing against Oakland Roots, USL Championship team, and if they manage to defeat Oakland Roots, put on the dancing shoes because you're going to the big show. You're gonna end up playing an MLS team after that. So that's the beauty of the Open Cup. I'm super excited for them. These are basically part-time players, people that have like regular jobs. These are Sunday leaguers, and I'm super excited for that. If you want to catch that game is going to be Tuesday, April 16th at 10:30 p.m. So I encourage you to do that. OCB played this past week down in Bradenton on their, and I'm making air quotes, home opener against Inter Miami 2, unfortunately. The what ails the first team followed OCB following 2-0 on that game. You know, you gotta win the rivalry games. I believe somebody lost the memo. It was a frustrating game to say the least. I mean, I don't know if you got to watch it.
No, no, I didn't.
Yeah, we had a lot of our bench from the MLS team. We should have won that game. Tactically, I'll have to say that Mr. Higuain took us took us into the back of the woodshed and paddle our behinds. And you know, losing is contagious, just like winning. So we have to. Hopefully, we'll find the scoring boots on our next outing, which is going to be this Thursday at 4 p.m. away at Philadelphia versus Philadelphia 2. So if you have a minute, it's gonna be on Apple Plus. These games are either on Apple Plus or on the MLS Next Pro channel on YouTube. So go ahead and support the boys. OCB is a lot of fun, um, and yeah, disappointing, my friend, that Miami gets to have the last laugh. But seasons are peaks and valleys, and like I have said to many people, if you want to find a hobby that will relax you, you can pick up
This is
knitting.
not it. This is
Yeah,
not
this
it.
is not in. This is not in. Anything to add about the OCV?
I honestly, I think everybody should watch at least one OCB game if you have not yet.
Go to a
And
game, my friend.
yeah, if you have never been, and you truly consider yourself a fan of this badge, that is where you want to see, because that's the future of these teams. and you'll be amazed at what you see. The passion is there. I'm disappointed that the organization does not promote them more. Um,
Yeah, and this is the thing, man. You know what will be awesome, and again, I'm so tired of I
saying
should
this.
I should be listen. Hire me for marketing. Hire me for listen. I will do it pro bono because I love my club, and I'm tired of telling this club how to take our money. You know what you should do, Jared Dillon, if you're listening. This is what you should do, my friend. You can go ahead since school is almost over and have a school night. Not even a school night. Let's make it a school day to bring teams. Bring buses from local schools. Fill up the stadium and have the boys get a taste of our football. Maybe have a afternoon game or early morning game or something like
Yeah.
that. And this is how people get the bug. My overseas teams do this. They pick a school, they go in and they said, "Hey, I'm gonna give you two tickets, one for your mom and dad, or one for yourself. And then if you want to bring your brother, whatever, you buy more tickets." You know what I'm saying? And bring people in. I actually saw an event the Maccabi Haifa had 3 years ago for the beginning of the school year. And they brought flags. They gave flags to all the kids. They gave all the kids T-shirts, and they gave two tickets to all the kids. And the kids went to the games. This is how I mean, I'm just so tired, brother. I was just telling the club how to get people excited
But they're not
for
going
the
to do
club.
that. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because, okay, so would they rather spend their money getting people to go to the OCB game, or would they rather spend their money getting people to go to the first team game? They're
Well,
going to
see, this is
spend their
the
money.
thing, my friend. This is
Yeah.
the thing. You could spare giving free tickets for the lesser product. Also, if I can be devil's advocate, listen, that things are rough. I don't know if you guys know,
No.
inflation is buck wild, and to quote Jared Dillon, they're not saving lives at the stadium. It's discretionary spending. If you have to choose between feeding your family, having a roof over your head, or running city tickets, you know what's going to win. So I just think and since now the games are behind a paywall, to me it's important that we
Mhm.
reach out to families that unfortunately don't have the means to go to the games. Also, one thing that Atlanta United was doing that I was really impressed with, and I was jealous that we were not doing here. You know how our most MLS teams, including ourselves, we build the mini pitches, right? We
Mhm.
go go to a community and build a mini pitch. They were running tournaments in the city, like
Yeah.
futsal, 3 versus 3 or 4 versus 4, and they were running these tournaments, and people were getting excited about the product. We have to do a good job at planting the seeds to get the next generation motivated.
Mhm.
Um,
I
because
agree.
people like you and I, I mean, it's too late for us. We are on the way out, baby.
Listen, man, I mean, I was talking to somebody, and I think just from like the Orlando City soccer schools, right? Like where my son plays, not the academy, the soccer schools that are in the area. I think you have probably somewhere within the range of like 5,000 people. 5,000.
Wow.
So think about that, right? Think about that. They do games for those schools to come to go to the stadium where you go and sit in a section, and it's like to support the school, and a portion of the proceeds go to the school. So like, like they have one, like the LA Galaxy game is the night for my son's school, right? So everybody from that school goes, gets a discounted ticket, goes, sits in a corner. And Misael Rosa just put a message up here. I'm going to bring it
Yeah,
up.
go ahead and read his
he said
comments if you don't
he
mind.
said the Solar Bears hockey team do the school thing, and they have an early morning game, and very true. And the Solar Bears also do group games, and that's kind of like what I'm talking about. Like we went once for my wife was doing Girl Scouts, and they had like
Right.
the Girl Scout night.
My wife has taken her class because we're also Solar Bear fans. My wife has
Yeah,
taken her class every year to the STEM game. It's at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning game.
yep.
And my wife was telling me that, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ahmed, but
No, no,
I
no.
want to
Go,
say that
go.
before you. That this past year, one of the fathers is one of it's one of those guys that's like, hey, a well-off individual, right? Took the day off to be help chaperone his daughter's class, and he went there. He said, "This is incredible. I need to come back." And my wife said to him, "If you think this is awesome, Orlando City will, blow you off the water."
Hmm.
So this is like these are great opportunities that we are wasting away, that we truly are
Absolutely.
wasting away. So I'm Misael, I'm glad that you brought that
Yeah.
up, because the Solar Bears, um, at the grassroots level, their marketing is aggressive like that. In years past, they went around Paramore and just gave free tickets to people that were waiting for the bus and things like that.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry, I mean, go
No, no,
ahead.
no, that's fine. And then Misael also goes on to say, is where OCB plays also maybe the problem, the distance? It depends. Like I'll be honest, I live 20 minutes from where they play, and I'm at every
Uh-huh.
city game, right? I'm at every
Right.
game that the first team plays. So they play in Osceola Heritage Park. You can get to it right off of the Florida Turnpike. Is it the closest thing to like downtown Orlando? No, but
No.
it's accessible. It's not inaccessible. I just feel like it's not a priority for them, and it should
And
be.
we can't forget that OCB already played at the stadium
Yes.
in Paramore. They average under 200 fans, and it wasn't cost effective,
Mm-hmm.
because um the team was losing money on those games, because the you gotta remember, you gotta get security. You have to have at least one or two concessions open to make some money, and the electricity and everything around it. Simply just the club is there to make money, not the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, but and I have argued as well. OCB games tend to be like $20 to go to the game, and that's great. But that's what you will probably pay for a ticket on the wall to see the first team, and obviously the quality,
Yeah.
uh, the disparity is there. So I don't know. I don't think there's any magic formula. I just think that we should, in fact, as we can see with this next game against Philadelphia too, the Philadelphia Union ownership, they're playing a game on a weekday at 4 p.m. That's how much they think that this is worthless, and they're having it at their stadium. So
Yes.
it's pretty much like a close scrimmage. Maybe family will be there. I don't know.
When
Um,
when they had the playoffs last season and we were in the playoffs, who did we lose to? Was it Columbus?
Columbus.
They had a decent sized crowd in that stadium.
They sure did. They sure did. But you gotta remember that they are playing in their original stadium. They're
Okay.
still standing. And in that city. And I have to say it, the Columbus Crew is a team that has won 3 MLS Cups, a pair of Open Cups. I believe they have won a Supporter Shield, one or two of them. So it's a team that obviously has been here since 1996. And has been in the league longer than we have. But they have accomplishments. And in Columbus, they're the only professional sports team. So the community rallies around them,
I
and
guess.
that's the reason why the moving them to Austin was such a detrimental thing. I'm glad that that failed, and we have already seen that the ownership that they had got their way to get Austin on the map, sacrificing, in my opinion, San Antonio, which was a better candidate, better team, better crowd, better culture, a team that invested $5 million into a stadium that they now have to shove up where the sun doesn't shine, simply because and these are some of the decisions that MLS and Don Garber primarily has made that gets me angry. San Antonio was a better candidate to bring not only Central Texas, but a great fan base into the league, and we gave that away. So a bunch of yuppies in the California, New York transplants that work in technology in Austin can go and see their team lose, because unfortunately for Austin, that team is Orlando City 2.0 in the
Yeah.
bad years.
Yep.
So I mean, that's if I can add that. Oh, you know what? Jerry just sent me a message, my friend. If you're watching, if you want to be on the show, just let me know, Jared. So I just got your question. I'm gonna send you the link. Yes, I see it now, Jared. Yes, we're taking guests. If you want to be with us, all you gotta do is message us. We'll send you the link, and you can be with us on the screen. So, Jared, I'm gonna send you the link so you can join us and let us know. And also, I would like to remind everybody that you can comment live, and we'll read your comments just like Misael did. So, uh, usually, when we have three people on the panel, you guys talk among yourselves as I find the link to
I
St.
got you.
Jared. But oh, you got it. Oh, look at
Yeah,
you.
I'll send it.
Look at
Oh,
you.
well, I don't
Okay.
have Jared to.
Let me see. Okay, so we have covered everything. So we're gonna hold on for a second so Jared can join us, and um, I have to tell you guys, I'm super anxious to go back to the stadium and see the boys play. As a matter of fact, this Saturday as we return to the hostilities, I'm very, very hopeful. DC United, for some reason, past 4 years has been our bogey team, and it was never like that. It was never like that. Um, it has been the Wayne Rooney curse. Uh, okay, John, I just want to let you know, guys know. John hurt his back yesterday, and I guess took some medication, fell asleep, and just woke up. I'm just gonna tell him to join us if he can. This is a funny story. This happened to me not this weekend, the weekend before that. I woke up in the morning, and I probably, if I told the story here, please forgive me. Uh, I woke up in the morning. It was Saturday. My wife asked me, "Are we going to synagogue?" And I said, "Yes, we are." And I said, "My back is killing me." So she gave me out like a muscle relaxer, and I sat down on the couch for what I thought was a 2 minute power nap, and I woke up 6 hours later. And I was like, "Oh man, okay." So those things do happen. Uh, let's. I mean, you hurt your back too.
Yeah,
My
I
goodness,
did.
listen.
I
This
heard,
is
bro. Well, I'm getting old, man. Yeah, I actually hurt my back on
yeah.
Saturday. So,
Yeah,
John,
yeah,
you
yeah,
have
Jared.
your
I got
story.
your message. I'm sorry, my brother. Jared, I got your message. And for those that are wondering, I actually can read the comments before we put them on the screen. So, Jared, I did got your message from Facebook. So I believe Ahmed
Oh,
already
it's
sent you the link.
Facebook. Okay, yeah, I don't. Okay, let me.
Yeah, he sent it to my personal on Facebook. Just
Ah,
if you have a way to communicate with Jared,
okay.
or I can just send him
I
the
sent you the link in our chat. There's our in our chat right there. I sent you the link, so you have it.
okay. So
Yeah,
hold
because
on a
I
second.
couldn't
Let
get it.
me
Oh my
this
goodness.
this makes fantastic podcasting.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
This makes fantastic podcasting because this completely derail our train of
This is
thought.
what happens when you do things live. Live is never dull because always
No, for
something
sure,
always
for sure,
something
for
always comes
sure.
up,
And
man.
I'm glad that Jared is joining us. It has been a while
Yes.
since he has and there's a lot of regulars that life gets in the way. I know some of the guys are in school and some of the guys are spring breaking and all that, and I'm glad we miss you guys. You guys know who you are, the regulars. We miss you guys. So also, I would like to say one thing. The guys from OC Fan TV, they are doing on Thursdays. They're doing it's a live, but it's like open floor. You can talk pretty much about anything football. And I just want to give it a shout out to go follow those guys on OC Fan TV. And like I said, I'm a regular. I go there, chit chat with them for a few minutes. They are also another podcast that is joining the boycott, and also, they are one of those shows that allowed critique and an open floor format. So if you don't have anything going on this Thursday, go ahead and join the boys. So while we wait for Jared, oh, there is our good
There's
friend Jared. So we're gonna let him in. Jared, you are on the capo stand, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. Thank you for letting me jump on real quick. Hope you're
No,
doing
Hey,
well.
absolutely,
Jared.
brother. Floor is
Uh,
yours.
Great. Just finished walking the dog. I'm outside. So I was listening. And I just wanted to, real quick, because I appreciated the talk about OCB and I wanted to share a unique perspective, maybe. For those of you who don't know, I live in Cocoa Beach and in Melbourne, Florida area. And for, I, we used to go to so many, and I used to be a school teacher in Melbourne. And if you don't recall, OCB was in Melbourne originally at Eastern
Yes,
Florida State
Oh
College.
wow.
Did either
correct.
of you did either of you get a chance to go to any games there
I
or
did
No.
not, but I did watch them on YouTube regularly. Yes.
so just a unique perspective. It obviously somebody mentioned distance. It's a lot farther from Orlando. But when you're trying to grow the branding of the club in other areas, I think maybe it served its purpose when they were doing it. But some of the unique things were those stadiums were you that stadium, number one, it's a small stadium, but it's very beautiful and first class, beautiful pitch, and it was always full, the stands. Um, I was a school teacher at a very small private school, and at one point they said, "Here, grow a soccer team with no budget," and that was fun. And thankfully, Kay Rollins supported us. The team sponsored us, bought us uniforms, so we had the kids little things like I think COVID they got rid of the ball handlers or ball boys.
Yes.
Like, but my players like they would always let us come to the games there at the school. They were ball handlers. They're down there on the pitch getting excited. And several of them had no interest in soccer when we started the program there. Several of them, two of them went on to play college at some small universities. Uh,
Wow.
Wow.
Several of them are now season ticket members and big fan, like they're coaching,
There you go.
Wow.
they're refereeing youth leagues, and these were kids who like soccer didn't exist in their school, and so it was just a really they. I feel like they did a lot of that when it was in Melbourne.
Uh-huh.
The stadium was almost always pretty 50% full. So
Really?
they were really fun atmospheres, but it was that grassroots. And there's a lot of fans out here on the East Coast, a lot of fans, especially down even south of us. So it was a fun time. I was really sad when they got rid of it. Because also economy, I have a larger family. I only have two season tickets for each match, and
Yeah.
I rotate my kids. Well, OCB matches, we would take the whole family, and not all of them, but maybe once a month. And
Uh-huh.
it was just I really loved that those couple years they did that. So it's just a unique perspective because I have not been to an OCB match. So and I'm
No,
probably not.
I
So
I hear you. I'm glad that you brought that up. I for a season of time, my family and I uh were visiting a congregation in Melbourne, so I know that drive. It's an hour. It doesn't seem like much,
uh,
but
it's it's easy, but it's I mean
it's
it's easy.
cumbersome, my friend.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
cumbersome, especially if you hit traffic on the 528, because
Oh
there's only
man.
one way forward. That's it. And I remember that the reason why the team pulled away from Melbourne was very simple. They had to pay rent
Mm,
to to the community college or state college, however you want to call it. And at the end of the day, this was in an era where we had layoffs, we had people in the club having their pay reduced, and one of the things that a lot of people don't know, or probably it's not spoken about, is the fact that we financially were in dying straits at that
yeah.
point. And so it was quote unquote cheaper to bring the team back in house. Unfortunately, like we discussed before, we were not breaking even, having the stadium and just the East Terrace section open. But other teams are trying. Nashville has their B team in Huntsville, and they're trying to make money that way. But like I said, me personally, I think if the price is reduced or we do some gimmicks, we can bring people in and
Which,
and
like
be
your
excited.
marketing advice, David. So now I'm not a school teacher. Now I own a marketing agency. So
Look at
like,
that.
I hear these ideas and I'm like, and I love it. Yeah, just come up with creative ways to take our money. But I think there's some things to be thought of. Because I've lived in other cities. The 3-on-3 tournaments are great ideas. I mean, we do one foot golf thing a year, one, and
Right.
it's the turnout's pretty good, but so many fun things. I mean, we want to see this keep growing. I've been there for the launch of many of the mini pitches at the beginning of MLS, and I don't even see information about that anymore.
That's true. That's
Um,
true.
and so it just that's it. Just a unique perspective.
No,
So
I hear you, my brother. I had question for you.
yeah,
So far, what's your take on how we are as a club this season, going on game number seventh. We are 14th out of 15th in the East. Um, what,
it's pretty
what's your take?
simple. I feel like it's just not surprised. I think hopeful at the beginning of the year that we wouldn't have the slow start again, like all of
Absolutely.
us. And I don't even know if it's disappointment. It just kind of becomes like accepted, but I don't ever want to accept it, right, gentlemen? We never want to accept it.
Right,
So
right. It's not okay to be okay. We've said that before.
I drive a long way every game to see them win.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm glad
I,
you're saying that,
I,
Jared, because like yourself, there's a lot of people that I know because our club is not just people in Orange County; it's like a regional club, and there's people that come from the Gulf Coast and all that. And to me, we lose. It's a 20-minute drive, and I get home and I kick the neighbor's dog. I slap the wife and the kid. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, I slam a couple of doors. I just sit on the couch in the dark, and my wife knows what's going on when that happens. But I feel for the guys that invest up to 4 hours driving to a game just
yeah.
to, you know.
And I think it's I almost feel like with injuries and with the CONCACAF and new players and playing Duncan, even though he may be gone in the summer, it's like, what are we doing? I feel like we don't have a clear starting lineup,
Hmm.
and I would like to see that starting lineup, that starting formation, and this is what we're going to do, and we're going to give them time to gel, even though they all know each other for the most part. I mean, we have people playing in positions they don't play in, I played high level and semi pro, and I was a utility player. I played right back to center, to both center mid, defensive midfielder and attacking midfielder. So I get that, but also this is professional soccer, like in Orlando City. So I don't know. I want to see a starting lineup. I want to see it consistent. I want to see the guys grow. I mean,
I agree.
best. I also love getting your best players on the pitch. But how do we feel about Duncan starting every match and Muriel playing a false 9 or 10? If that's going to change in the summer, I
It
don't.
has been ineffective, to be honest with you. And I know the club wants to do a solid by Duncan to showcase him so he can be sold at a
Of
maximum rate.
course, yeah.
I just don't think that his performance has been there for that. I have heard rumors that Blackburn may come back to for him. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I received. I was in a conversation with somebody that chose to not that he doesn't want people to know who he is. And that person said, "Hey, listen. The reality is that Orlando City had plans to reinvest the money for Duncan into finding some needs. Perhaps had that happened, we would have been having a different conversation. But
That's a good,
unfortunately, people can hit send instead of save in a championship side, English side, and here we are. So that's something that people need to know.
I'm hopeful. I just, I just want a good number 10.
Yep.
I
I
mean,
think,
Go
yeah,
was great. and he did well for us. But it was time to move on, and we were ready. We were all ready to move on. And you just see these teams that have guys like Carlos Hill and these guys who are even Driussi this week, like these guys who just are different. They put the team on their
You
back.
saw what Atlanta was without Miron, and
Oh, I
you know.
know. It's just like it's like hope. But I don't know. I want to see a starting lineup, and I want to see some consistency,
Hmm.
and hopefully, I mean, we played how many games with the two with the double pivot, and that was mostly Concacaf, and it wasn't that great. But also, I don't know, man. It just I feel like it's been inconsistent, been sloppy.
I agree with you. I agree. Very
Yeah.
inconsistent. Very. To be honest with you, the one victory that we have this year came at a time where we were. I mean, we had to bring guys from OCV, sign them for 1 day contracts because we were that short-handed, and it was
Back.
probably our best game. It's the only game where we have scored more than one goal, and it's frustrating to say the least. I know that some people have gone on social media. They don't name us by name because that takes testosterone. That takes a lot of fortitude. But you guys know me. I don't. I when I talk about people, I use their names because that's who I am. And in respect to one of the members of this show that doesn't want us to do that, I'm not gonna reveal who it is. But if you guys follow our social media, you know who it is. And I said it, defying expectations and having a winning attitude does skip a generation. So there, I said it. I think that one thing more, guys, is it's not a crime. Passion, they say passion is not a crime. One thing more is not a crime. I think that for the most part, Jared, and I would like to take your to get your perspective because I know Ahmed's already. You have a fan base that works really hard, man. All of us, we travel for work. We spend a large amounts of money trying to support our families. A lot of the audience of this show are providers. The moms and dads, and to steal a quote from the EPL, our job is to make sure that the guys that are working Monday to Saturday get rewarded. I'm sorry, Monday to Friday that get rewarded on Saturday, and I agree with that. I don't have a problem losing if I feel that we gave everything that we had, that we tried to win the game, it wasn't in the cards. But to fall like a cheap lawn chair, that's where I have a problem.
Mm.
So do you think that our club is trying to win, or simply there's the suspensions, the international duty, and injuries have capped us from reaching our full potential?
I think it's the I think it's the latter. I also think from what I've never met Oscar, but he seems like he doesn't get rattled. He's probably patient. He has a plan and he's going to see it through.
Hmm.
I think in sports it can be very reactionary. It's the highs are highs and the lows are lows, and it's nice having a leader who's consistent, which we all know we respect him his character. So
Absolutely.
I'm assuming. Sorry for the sirens. I'm hopeful that hey,
There we
we're
go.
on the capo stand, and apparently it's we got stuff
Yeah,
going
well,
on.
hey, listen. So
Um,
somebody's about to have a really bad Monday night, based on.
I just hope it's the latter. I hope it's the latter.
Woo, there's a second patrol, so that's really bad.
I hope it's the latter. I think we want to win. I think, like he told you at the beginning of the year, this is going to be a good season to look out for. I'm going to hold him to that. I was with you last year when I'm like, you know what? I don't think he can do it, and it turned
Uh-huh.
around. And so now I'm riding with him for now.
No,
I,
I hear you. And I'm sorry to turn you there for a second.
yeah,
I spoke with him. I spoke with. I literally went to us. I spoke to Oscar with all the honesty, and part of me, if I was very direct, very raw last show when I said we had the opportunity to grill the man that is the steward of our club, and instead of using that opportunity to
I
ask
know.
tough
I,
questions, people were like, "What's your boxes or briefs? What's your
yeah,
favorite ice cream? What do you listen to on the way to the stadium?" That to me is a waste of his time and our time. Myself, the guys from OC Fan TV asked tough questions. He answered them, At the end, I was very hesitant to approach him because I thought, man, this guy probably wants to kick me in between my legs. And I extended my hand, and he said no, and he just hugged me. He hugged me, and I felt like it was like like a friend that I haven't seen in a while, a
Oh,
family member.
you
So
melted. I think you said. I think that was
yeah,
on
man,
the
like
Fan TV
I think it
podcast.
was like
But
Oscar.
I mean, that's what we know he's capable of. It's just can he? It can he? He can get a lot of teams to this level. I think he's a phenomenal
Yes,
man.
yes,
But is he? We'll see. But is he the one to get us to that next level?
right. I agree.
And
I agree.
and that's okay. He's going to have a job the rest of his life coaching teams. Like I think.
Anywhere, anywhere in the
But
world.
but I do want to see as an organization figure out what we're doing with DPS. I just like are we doing the Ojeda project or not? Is he going to be a 70 minutes player or not?
Correct.
It, we signed him and Faku play the same position, kind of. I don't even know. I just get him out there and let him play. Give him some time to figure out. Give him half a season of consistency. If they don't do it, move on. They they want to win games too. Ojeda wants
I
to
mean,
score goals. Dude will shoot from half field.
I'm
Like,
gonna tell you, we brought Gaston Gonzalez. He did not work out.
yeah,
Sent him to Nacional. The kid is exploding down there. So
is
I
he?
beg to ask, he is. He's doing fantastic. I'm sorry
Is
to
he on a
tell you that.
trade
No,
or
he
a
is
loan?
on a loan till December with an option to buy. And when he left us on his social media, he made it look like he knew he wasn't coming back. He cost us $2.5 million that unfortunately are gonna go to waste if we don't bring him back. But Gaston Gonzalez is doing fantastic down there. Do you pull the trigger and bring him back as soon as the Uruguayan league recess? I don't know. But as a winger, he's doing fantastic. So I mean, sometimes we have brought players to the team that don't work out.
Of
Mhm.
Chicara, Hill. You guys remember that the Mexican guy a
Yep.
few years back? The famous Josue Colman. I mean, we have hit some duds.
yeah.
Not as bad as Atlanta. Atlanta lost their shirt on Barco, big time, $20 million. But us, and we have lots of money here, and I understand. And Oscar told me from his perspective that sometimes players are great on paper or great in that particular league. We bring them here and they don't work out. So it's a hit and miss. And just like we go to the draft and we have found some diamonds, we also have found some duds. So
It could be
put
assuming Gaston is doing like you say. I would say yes because Angulo needs some competition. They're both very different players.
absolutely.
But I mean, who's competing on at left mid? I don't even know.
I don't even know what our depth is there because our roster is very heavy on defenders. And when it comes to midfielders and the attacking section of our formation, um, honestly, I just don't know who's there. And one of the frustrating things is seeing people try to do the same thing at the same time and just getting in their way. We
Of
have
each other.
seen,
Yeah.
yeah, we have seen players literally block shots that should have been
Oh,
goals. And we have seen players trying to kick the ball at the same time. We makes for comedy goal
But
if it was actually funny.
but
So
David, you know the frustrating part about all of that?
yeah,
We're talking about three new players.
true.
Like if this was like half of the team new, we're talking about three new
new.
players. Lodero, Muriel, and Brecalo. Those are, I mean, we have the
Right,
other.
playing.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, those are the three. Those three, the team is basically the same team.
It's three people.
So why
Incredible.
we are
I think that's
playing like this is a new
consistency.
team and a new? That's the to me that's the part that keeps me up at night. I would understand if it was everybody new, give them time, work it out. That's what last season. That's what we were saying. Give them.
Hmm.
They need to work it out. We had a lot of new pieces. There's no new pieces really. I mean, because if you really think about it, the only person uh, uh, Lodero, he's not new to MLS. So you could make the argument about Muriel and Brecalo, MLS and whatever. But Lodero's not new to MLS. So it's like, come on. Like, how is it that we feel
Yeah.
like we're starting over? And I'm going to just bring up Jim D's comment because he said something that just made me
Yeah, I was
think.
about to ask you about that.
Yeah. Jim D said, I was watching the OC Fan TV from last season. It's creepy how similar last season was. And then he says, we all thought we would start off where we left off last season and grow from there. But here we are starting all over again for some reason. And honestly, I feel like that's the frustration. It's the same team. Why are we starting from somewhere like we're starting from ground zero as opposed to where we left off? You know?
Can I
You
share
should
one
have, you
thought?
should have
before I
picked
go?
up where we were left off, right?
Can I share one thing before I leave?
Yeah, go ahead,
Please.
brother.
And I'll continue watching, but I just think that having a good spine up the center of the pitch is important. This is why I'm hopeful. David Brecalo, if I'm saying it right, I
Mhm.
think what I've seen, I'm excited for. I think it's going to be better than Antonio. Unfortunately, he didn't play much the last couple years. So if
Correct.
we get him plugged in, if we get our defensive mids back, and we have Muriel up top, it just kind of leaves who's our center midfielder. But I'd be curious to see once we can get those positions back, does that re-establish some like solidity in the on our team? I don't know. So
Well,
we'll
I'll
see.
tell you what,
I think
Brecalo is
consistent.
a no, absolutely. Brecalo is a international in UEFA. You can ask for better competition than that, and in that respects, to me, that's better than Antonio Carlos right there, because
Yeah.
Antonio Carlos was a fantastic player as he was not an international, and mind you, making it to the Slovenian national team, it's not it may be easier than the Brazilian national team, and I get that. We need people to score, and unfortunately, to me, on set pieces, we're not threatening, and in the air, those headers that obviously I'm going back in history, but when Seb Hines was here, and we had a corner, you knew the guy was going to score, and unfortunately, we don't have that. So hopefully, we will find solutions. Jared, anything else? I'm sorry, Jared, because I always say
Okay.
Jared because of Jared
Well,
Dillon.
I'll just end it with this, gentlemen. First off, thank you. I know I'd maybe hop on once every 3 months, but I'm always watching. I
No,
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it, brother.
Thank you for your support, man.
I have a small business podcast that I do, and I know what it takes to like take
Go
time out
ahead,
of.
go ahead and plug it in.
Oh, well, I'm when I'm not doing soccer or business, I do jujitsu about every day of the week. So it's called Combat Creative. It's a jujitsu business podcast. But thank you, David. Thank you for that.
All right.
But uh, I appreciate the content creation side of Orlando City between you and like the Den After Dark guys. Like that's how I get home. That's the hour drive home.
There
I
you
get to
go, brother.
hear you jump on. I get to jump on, and it's doing this throughout the week. I just want to say thank you for taking time.
No, no, absolutely, my brother. And Jared, we appreciate it. It's always great to see you at the stadium, and the few times that we run into each other. And hopefully we'll have something to cheer
Thanks.
on Saturday. And
Yep.
at the end of April, hopefully we'll see each other at the stadium to cheer on the boys.
And you as well, Ahmed. It'll be nice
Yeah,
to
thank
meet
you so much. Nice to
you.
meet
All
you.
right.
All right, my friend.
Bye.
Be safe. Thank you very much for joining us. Um, all right, guys. So if you want to join us, it's that easy. And my apologies for not advertising that as often. The past few weeks have been hectic with all the material that we've had, and when you have three microphones plus you add a train of people, the show will be 4 hours long. So for that reason, but thank you, Jared. I appreciate it. I appreciate your insight and your support over this past 2 years that we've been doing this. Um, I would like to. I mean, if you have something to say, I really have to go, and because I've been drinking too much of the juice. If you have something to say and give me the 2 seconds to run to the restroom, usually when we have a third microphone. It's easier for me to like escape away. So again,
Absolutely. Well, you know what?
fantastic podcasting.
Absolutely. No, we have our well, we have our
Go ahead,
game
brother.
coming
I'll
up,
be
right?
back.
So we have our
Yes,
next game
sir.
coming up against DC United. Um, so we have quite a history with DC United. That game is going to be on, when is it? Let me see here. I believe it is April the 13th. Saturday, April the 13th, we will be visiting DC United. Our history with them over the last 17 matches, we have 6 wins for us, 2 draws, and 9 losses. Um, so the odds right now, I don't think are in our favor. I'm not sure what you would all like to see, but for me, I think anything other than a win. Um, we can't take anything other than a win, David.
No, for
It's there's
sure. And I gotta tell you guys, I know, yeah, I think I overheard you talking about our history with these folks. Listen,
yeah,
DC United um, is a founding club of MLS. They are the team with the second most MLS cups. Last time this club lifted a trophy was the 2013 U.S. Open Cup away at Salt Lake City. The winning goal by the legendary Orlando City Lion, Louis Neal, USL on MLS. And the fact is, my friends, is that for the past 4 years, the Wayne Rooney curse has been present. They got the best out of us. In fact, our last 3 games has been 3-1 victory for DC, a 1-1 result, and a 2-1 victory for DC. We have not been able to crack the code. In fact, I believe it was last season. They came home on the 4th of July and rocked. No, was it last year or the year before? They rocked us, man. It's like 5-3.
it was the last game I have that I see here. It was 3-1, April of last year. They beat us 3 to
So it was
1.
the year before that. It was the 4th of July before that. They rocked us, man.
5-3.
And
It was 5-3, July
oh
4th of
man, and you know what? We
2022.
had a great time. The sad thing is, we were on the West Club. Had a great time with my wife and kids,
But you
and
know what, David? A game like that, if it's a well-fought game, you're okay with it. If it's a
yes, I
game that was
actually
a
left
fight,
satisfied. It wasn't. It wasn't.
that's what I mean. And that's why I always say it's not about the outcome as much as how we get to that outcome. If we're making stupid mistakes, stupid U12 mistakes, getting in each other's way, fighting our own teammates, and
Yes.
bad turnovers, that's the frustrating part. If we're playing a good game and we get beat, well, that's the sport, right? But we're talking about professional athletes and we're getting our asses handed to us. Hello,
Yeah.
that something needs to change,
No,
So,
absolutely. And it's a beautiful stadium they have up there in DC. Great
yeah.
away day. Our federal capital is one of my favorite cities to visit. There's so much to see, so much to do, and so if you want to break the piggy bank and go on a impromptu hour and 45-minute flight to DC, well, the chance is yours. The opportunity is yours to go watch the boys this weekend. We haven't been successful in DC, and I think, all streaks, good or bad, in football, in sports in general, come to an end. So I believe the boys can do it. I wish them the best. In the event, I don't want to say it, I don't want to even think about it, that we do not get a result, then I will have to say, my friends, that it will be time to start reconsidering where are we going, because the season is still salvageable. Man, the season still, we can come back from this.
So when do you think is the cutoff for
I
when
have
that
said,
is?
no, well, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no,
I
no.
have said that if we are not above the playoff line come June 1st, press the panic button, because I just don't think it's gonna happen. I gotta be quite honest with you. I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. The
I just
beauty
can't
of
believe we're
Go
talking
ahead,
about
brother.
that right now. I just can't believe we're talking about the playoff line right now.
In April, I know it's insane. I gotta say, and I had this discussion with several people that the when we started in MLS, where only 6 teams per conference made the playoffs, that was a cruel, clean cut, shut up and play type of cutoff. It was brutal. That's why when people tell us, "Oh, my team made playoffs, yours took 5 years," I'm sorry. Wait a minute, because for us it was difficult. If we were playing under the rules that we have now, where 7 teams make playoffs, 8 and 9 have a wild card,
Mhm.
like I like to call it, we would have made playoffs every year, with the exception of 2018, which was an abysmal season. So I don't want to hear from people that, oh, we make playoffs, you don't. It's like, yeah, well, look at the conditions that we had. Uh, so now 1 to 7 guarantee make playoffs, 8 and 9, there's a chance. All we gotta do technically is make eighth or ninth as a last resort, or make it to seventh, and now that you get rewarded with at least one home game in this 3 leg situation, by a miracle of God, we may get ourselves in. My problem, friends, is we make playoffs and we get hammered. We get hammered in the first round. Is that success? I don't think so. Making okay, and I'm gonna be brutal when I say this. Making the playoffs is as if you ask a girl, the girl of your dreams, you take her out and you get to drop her off, and she goes, "Would you like to come up for a cup of tea?" And come on, you know what I'm saying? It's a family podcast, but you know what? Come on, you guys know, right? And you go there, and after having the tea, it moves further, and then all of a sudden she remembers that she has an important presentation in the morning. She has to go to bed, wake up early, and then sends you away. How is that success to me? It's frustrating. It's You got nothing. So here is the same situation as well. Making the playoffs with nothing to show for, and I believe, and Oscar agrees, that last year was our year. But I actually gonna go further than that, and I'm gonna say what happened in 2020 was a shame. We were this close. In my opinion, 2020 was our year to lift that trophy. We were this close, and all somebody had to do was, Nani, let DK take the PK. But nobody had the nerve to go to the captain and say, maybe you need to sit this one out. Um, and unfortunately for us, it has been that moment. MLS is back. We went into the final when nobody believed in us. We failed to lift that trophy, which is, by the way, it's a trophy that nobody gives a crap about. Nobody. If you ask people who won the MLS is back tournament, and all that person is from Portland, and probably 50% of that fan base forgot about that trophy. You'll be hard pressed. But I personally suffered that one. And like I said, the last 2 times where we have gone past the first round, we tend to lose. We tend to give away the victory. We tend to wrestle victory from the jaws of defeat, and uh, and we just give it away, man. And last year was I mean, 2 yellows, bro. That's and that was it. It
Yeah.
was over. So I don't know, Ahmed. What's your take? I have to say, before I give you the microphone, I have to say, no playoff, we're not in playoff position by June 1st. Press the panic button. We lose this Saturday. Uh, I will start. Because right now, there's 2 camps. I'm gonna tell you, we have to roll the dice with Oscar. The opportunity to get rid of him that was last year. We signed him for 2 years. We gotta go all the way with him, because we never know. He may pull it off and pull what he did last year. But if he doesn't, my friend, if he doesn't, what an upset! Especially when every single one of the talking heads had us competing for supporter shield, had us competing for the MLS Cup, and here we are at the bottom of the table.
at the bottom of the table. Not. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think anything less than the top four positions by the end of the season should be seen as a loss for us, right? We finished second with this same team. I'm going to say it again because three people does not change the whole team. We finished second in our division with this same team. What happened? Like really, what happened? I don't. So
We
for
would
me,
love to know.
anything below like that first four should be seen as as not a good finish.
I
If we
agree.
don't playoffs, if we're talking about are we going to make playoffs or not, everybody should be worried at that point.
Playoffs. That meme, we have rested that meme for 4 years, but I guess it's time to dust it off again.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Anyhow, I would like to finish with this. Uh, our good friend Filippo from Tactical Manager TV channel on
Yes.
YouTube. Great channel, by the way. And Filippo is, I don't know if he's still working for Orlando City. I don't think so because he takes a lot of liberties on his channel and liberties that I know that a MLS
Wh-
employee wouldn't.
You know, it's funny when I saw his video, he looked very familiar. I had to have seen him
He
somewhere.
works in the, he has worked in the academy. He, he's well known around Orlando City circles. Like I said, I knew he had played for Orlando City. In fact, in this video, he wears a Orlando City jacket.
Yeah.
He I don't know. I don't think he's playing for. He's working for the team anymore. Otherwise, he would have never dare to put out a video like this one. The video is titled "Why is MLS attacking the oldest soccer competition in the United States?" And I think it's a very well compelled video. He has a guest that describes, excuse me, the reasons why MLS wants to do this. Basically, MLS just wants to destroy USL and keep a monopoly of the football pyramid. One of the things that I found out through this episode is that MLS is in the works for creating USL League Two league. So basically, they what they want to do is to sidestep the USL, destroy it, and all that. Personally, I have to tell you, I think they are gonna fail at that. The USL has very well established clubs. The USL does a lot of the things that are traditional in world football, and if I can be honest, when we were in USL, we were told we have to go to MLS because it's the natural progression of what we want to do. If you want to stay minor league, you stay here. If you want to move forward, you go to the MLS. I have to tell you, I'm a fan of Orlando City. To me, it's the colors, is the badge above everything else. I don't care for MLS. If tomorrow they say, "Hey, we're gonna self relegate to USL," I'll happily do that. And I know a lot of people will be like, "Well, you're saying that because you don't win." It's not that. I think the USL really does well on their marketing on what they do. They just lack the funding that MLS has, and of course, also MLS is in bed with the federation. It's well known because if it wasn't, the federation wouldn't have allowed the travesty that we are witnessing, where the first division of football in this country decides not to show up for the national trophy. You will never see that in Europe. You will never see that in Latin America or in Asia or in Africa. You will never see that. But here in the United States, we gotta put our paint, our big red nose, and our big shoes, and our horn, and pretend that this is normal behavior. I made anything else to say before we close that cycle?
No, man. I think we beat it to a dead horse.
Absolutely. So we are here for the football. We're here for Orlando City. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Orlando City will be facing DC United. Let's go ahead and support the boys. Thursday, 4 p.m. Our boys from OCB are going to be visiting Philadelphia Union 2, 4 p.m. Thursday on Apple Plus and MLS Next Pro. channel on YouTube. Let's go ahead and support them boys. The academy keeps going. I wanna say we had a great performance down in Bradenton, and unfortunately, did not translate it to big success in the upper categories. But I know, and I unfortunately forgot to save it. But we shared on our social media the categories. I would like to say it was like U12s, U13s. I mean, something like that.
Which one?
That finish two of our three of our lower divisions. One reached the final, won it. The other one was a semifinalist, and the other one third, and then in third place. And I wanna say it was U9, 10, 11 or something like
Yeah,
that.
so there was the Rayados Cup. It was actually 2 weeks ago. It was the Easter week. That
Okay,
was that was the one that you were talking about. And the academy played there, and I believe they won. And they did really well. It was a tournament from it started Wednesday. It was Wednesday through Sunday.
uh-huh.
It was actually really nice to see. There was so much talent there. It was great. And yeah, to your point, I wish I had the post up right now. They posted it, but the academy team, I
Yeah,
believe
we
it
shared
was
that on
their
social media,
I
and
believe it was their U11s that won their
uh-huh.
division. And the U12s, I think, also did very well.
No, and we want to say, our academy is producing a lot of talent. It's and we're very happy. We're very excited for that. And I know, obviously, I mean, knows firsthand the sacrifices that entitles. Excuse me, my kids play the sport at U8, U9, U10 level, and it was, trust me, it was tough because sometimes those games conflict with Orlando City,
Yeah,
first team games.
I am
Uh,
going to miss my first game in 2 years because my son has when we play Toronto at home. We're going to be in Jacksonville for a tournament.
that's the home game, the one home game in
Yes, I am
even in
going to
Europe.
miss that. That's the first game I'm missing
Wow.
the last 2 seasons because of that.
Well, but you're gonna be doing the Lord's work,
Yeah, man.
so that don't feel the faint.
Yeah.
It's a great excuse to miss a game for. So yeah. Well, I would like to excuse our good friend John. Unfortunately, health wise, he wasn't up to it, and he overslept, so he did not tell us about it. So John, if you're watching, we're sending you all the good vibes. I want to thank everybody that's watching us live, and I want to thank everybody that's going to be watching this later on, and I want to thank everybody that is going to be listening. We're building an audience. We got a little bump thanks to our good friend Luke Bowden. Some people gave us a chance. That chance was given and not revisited, and that's fine because if we are here to tell you sweet nothings to your ear, you know what? It's not the right thing to do. Personally, I have to tell you, when I was a kid in PR, and kids were told about Santa Claus, and they were told about the Tooth Fairy, and they were told about the Three Kings and all these mythological characters. And you get to middle school, late elementary, and people have to find out that it's not some mythical character. It's your parents. It's shocking. It's something that I didn't have to experience with my kids because in Hanukkah, they already know it's just the parents. There's no mythical creature. And we, in fact, we had to fight with our kids to let them know, please do not interfere with your friends. If especially my oldest kid is a little more like a little young Shelton, and my oldest son and I, we had that battle. Don't tell your friends. I don't need angry parents telling me anything. But yeah, if you want that, there's podcasts for that. This podcasts are gonna tell you everything is great, everything's fine, everything's awesome, and then the disappointment is gonna be very bad. Like my father-in-law used to say, if you lower the expectations the fall is not gonna be that hard, you
Hmm.
know, especially when you know that things are not the way they should. Um, Now, one thing I want to set the record straight is that we're not here to attack anybody, and we're not here to crap on the club. We love the team, but friends, that a podcast is about opinions, it's about analysis, and this podcast has been based on the opinions of those that come on the show, the opinions of the staff, and the opinions of those that make comments. So that's it. I mean, it's that simple. That I would love to tell you that we're gonna win every trophy this year, and yeah, I could tell you that, but that doesn't make it so. Doesn't make it so. So we're hoping that Oscar Pareja and the boys turn it around this Saturday. Last words, my good friend.
We need a win. We need a win, and we need consistency. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
W's make everything feel okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The W's, they make things anew. So that's what we need. All right, my friend. So we want to thank everybody that stuck with us live. Everybody's going to watch later on YouTube. Everybody's going to be listening to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thank you very much. We'll be back next Monday, 9 p.m., as we always do, to talk about the boys of the 407. By the way, I hope everybody had a good 407 day yesterday, where we celebrated all things Orlando. For those that follow me on social media, know that I utilized the day wisely. I went to Bucky's. Look at that. Went to Bucky's, and my kids and I went to the Flagler Volusia County Jewish Heritage Festival. And I ran into something really sad that happens to all parents. I used to love this festival because when my kids were little, there were things that would take the camel rides. That will make, because it's usually before Passover. They will make mats. And there was a like, finger painting, all that, face painting, all that. And I just took my kids, and I realized that all the activities were directed towards little kids, and my kids are not little anymore. And we just went, walked around, and we left. And it was so devastating to me to realize that my kids are grown. My kids are
Yes,
grown,
sir.
and that stage of life, I had to, if my advice to everybody that has young children, including our good friend John, enjoy the moment, because while he thinks that you have all these years ahead of you, that time does fly, and before you even know it, it's over, it's done. So yeah, so like I said, it was and my wife didn't want to go. My wife said, "Oh, I got other things to do." And before we left, I said, "Listen, you're setting an expectation. They're gonna have a great time like they did in years past. They are too old for the things they have there." I didn't listen. We went there, and he just hit me like a cold shower to realize that my kids are almost adults. So it's just sad, man. It's just sad. But again, if I can save a parent out there from the disappointment, grab your kid, hug them tight, kiss them. If I could have one more moment where my kids were this little, and I will be wrestling with them in the bed, on the bed or on the couch, forget about it. It's
Agreed. Agreed,
so
man.
yeah, absolutely. All right, my friends, I will stop rambling about that. Thank you very much. We leave you as we always every week we do, and that is by reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper. That football is cruel and unpredictable. That football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. That if you haven't cried full over football for joy or anger, have you really football? For myself and from Ahmed, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!